The spotlight was completely focused on Kylie Kelce when reporters gathered around to get her exclusive thoughts on the groundbreaking podcast episode that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had just recorded together. This wasn't just any ordinary interview situation. The anticipation in the room was electric as everyone waited to hear her honest reaction to what many are calling the most talked-about podcast collaboration of the year. Kylie's face immediately lit up with genuine excitement as she prepared to share her experience. She reached for her glass of fresh lemonade, took a refreshing sip, and settled into her chair with the kind of comfortable confidence that only comes from having something truly interesting to share. Her smile was infectious as she began recounting exactly how she discovered this podcast phenomenon. The story began in the most unexpected way possible. Kylie explained that she initially had no intention of listening to the entire episode. It was a completely accidental discovery that happened during one of those ordinary evening routines that somehow turn into something memorable. Jason had been in the kitchen preparing dinner when he decided to turn on the podcast, probably thinking it would serve as background entertainment while he worked. At first, Kylie was focused on her own tasks around the house. She figured she might catch a few minutes of conversation before moving on to other activities. The plan was simple: listen briefly and then continue with her evening routine. However, what actually happened was something entirely different and far more engaging than she could have anticipated. As the podcast progressed, both Kylie and Jason found themselves completely drawn into the dynamic conversation between Taylor and Travis. The chemistry between the two hosts was undeniable, and their dialogue had a natural flow that made it impossible to stop listening. What started as casual background noise quickly transformed into must-hear entertainment that captured their complete attention. Kylie vividly remembered the exact moment when she realized she was completely hooked on their conversation. She had been standing in the kitchen, methodically chopping vegetables for dinner preparation, when something Taylor said made her burst into uncontrollable laughter. The timing was perfect, and the humor was so unexpected that she nearly dropped her knife from laughing so hard. The specific exchange that caught her attention involved Taylor making an insightful observation about the similarities between music and sports. Taylor had thoughtfully noted that both music and sports require a strong sense of rhythm and strategic thinking to be successful. It was the kind of intelligent comparison that showed her depth beyond just being a pop superstar. Travis responded in his characteristic style with a comment that perfectly showcased his personality. He suggested that maybe the NFL should start incorporating electric guitars into their game strategy. The entire studio erupted in laughter at his completely unexpected response, and even listening from her kitchen, Kylie found herself cracking up at his creative interpretation. When Kylie recalled this particular moment during her interview, she couldn't help but shake her head with affectionate amusement. She explained that this type of response was absolutely typical for Travis. He has this incredible ability to take any serious conversation and spin it in a completely unexpected direction that somehow works perfectly. It's not just random humor. There's something genuinely entertaining and accessible about the way he approaches these topics. Jason, who had been quietly listening to his wife's enthusiastic recap, couldn't resist adding his own observations about his brother's behavior during the podcast recording. He leaned forward with a knowing grin and shared some insider perspective that only a sibling could provide about Travis's communication style. According to Jason's assessment, Travis is naturally a very talkative and social person under normal circumstances. However, something interesting happens when Taylor Swift enters the picture. Jason noticed that Travis's usual chattiness seems to double in intensity whenever she's around. It's a fascinating dynamic that raises questions about motivation and comfort level. If you're enjoying these behind-the-scenes insights into celebrity relationships and want to hear more exclusive content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss these kinds of revelations. Jason admitted that he couldn't definitively determine whether Travis's increased talkativeness stems from a desire to impress Taylor or from feeling exceptionally comfortable in her presence. It could easily be either explanation, or perhaps it's a combination of both factors working together. Kylie immediately chimed in with her own theory, suggesting with a laugh that it's probably both reasons simultaneously. This observation opened up interesting questions about how celebrities interact with each other behind the scenes. The dynamic between Taylor and Travis clearly goes beyond just professional collaboration, extending into genuine friendship and mutual respect that translates into natural, entertaining conversation. Kylie went on to reveal how this podcast episode had already started influencing their household routines in unexpected ways. She described how the episode had become a new form of family entertainment that they genuinely looked forward to experiencing together. The quality of the content was so engaging that it earned a permanent spot in their regular media consumption. That particular evening, after Jason finished cooking and they had settled into their comfortable living room, they made the deliberate decision to turn on the podcast episode again. They prepared a big bowl of buttery popcorn, dimmed the lights slightly to create a cozy atmosphere, and positioned themselves on the couch for what turned into an unexpectedly enjoyable listening experience. The fact that they chose to replay the episode speaks volumes about its entertainment value and rewatchability. Most podcast content doesn't inspire multiple listens, but apparently the Taylor and Travis collaboration created something special enough to warrant repeated attention from the Kelce household. This level of engagement from fellow celebrities suggests that the podcast episode successfully captured something authentic and genuinely entertaining. When people in the entertainment industry choose to spend their free time consuming content created by their peers, it typically indicates exceptional quality and broad appeal. Before we wrap up, remember to subscribe if you want to stay updated on all the latest celebrity podcast collaborations and exclusive behind-the-scenes stories. The enthusiasm that Kylie demonstrated while discussing this podcast episode clearly indicates that Taylor and Travis have created something that resonates far beyond their immediate fan bases, reaching into the broader entertainment community and creating genuine buzz among industry insiders.